want to say I'm sorry that I wasn't able to get to the police station with everybody and say my bit, but I'm sure that everybody let them know just exactly how you feel about what's going on. Now, just like the families that are sat here now, my brother died in police custody in 1998, and I'm sure a lot of people would have been able to see the CCTV of his death on the BBC, I think 2004. I insisted that went on television because just like the rest of the families, that come up against obstacle, against obstacle, against obstacle. 1998, Chritstopher went to a nightclub, April the 1st it was. Went with his friends. Coming outside, there was a bit of a carry-on, you know, as lads do. His friend punched him, he fell, bumped his head. The people from the nightclub put him in the recovery position until the ambulance came. Chritstopher was taken to the hospital. So he's bumped his head. When you bump your head, there's a possibility you can have cerebral irritation. So he gets into the hospital and whatsoever, and his behaviour deteriorates. The hospital must have looked at him because Hull is back and beyond, and there's not many black people there. They must have looked at him and gone, oh dear, what we're going to do, the black man with no top on, what we're going to do, get police. But the police had gone to see him as a complainant. He'd been assaulted. But one of the police officers, Chritstopher, was at school with, and they walked in. They were pulling him about in the hospital and whatsoever. He wanted to go to the toilet. You know, he didn't want treatment, he wanted to go to the toilet. And they're dragging him to the toilet. Now, he could have had a proper head injury. There could have been something that was going on in his brain. Luckily, there wasn't, yeah? But it just shows the treatment of the officers as soon as they met up with a black man, within, you know what I mean? Instantly, he was the trouble causer. Yeah, it wasn't somebody with an head injury. You go to the hospital to be treated, yeah, not to be pulled about by the police. So they'd gone in supposedly to see him as a complainant and started dragging him about in and out of the hospital. And as I say, one of them who's at school with had said to him, "You've got a brother called Richard?" He went, "Yeah." So you can imagine, yeah. So eventually what happens, Chritstopher is dragged out backwards with his feet trailing out of the hospital. He's stood outside, he's fully compass mentis, he speaks to the security guard, they handcuff him, he steps into a police van. Supposedly, this is what I was told, with a 2 or 3 minute journey, he comes out the other side fully unconscious, with his trousers and his boxer shorts to his knees. They drag him into the custody suite, throw him on the floor, and he's laying gasping. On the video, can hear it, rasping sound, a sound that nobody can get away from, yeah? Nobody, when they're snoring, makes a noise like, he's trying to catch his breath. So the police officers are walking to the custody suite. One of them, you see him, I can remember it now, on video. He looks about, says, "Has he just been arrested?" The other one goes, "Yeah," like that. I can see his face as plain as day now. Now the body language of the officers, they're like that, sweating like mad, walking about like this, and against the head, up and down like this. You can see by the body language there's more to it than what they're trying to tell you. And I'm thinking, you know, what's going on, you know? When they showed me this, I thought, this is going to be it, yeah? You can see what they've done. They've taken him away, they've beat him. They've CS gassed him, that's why he can't breathe, yeah? Was I mistaken? We had an inquest, no, we had years and years and years of the Crown prosecution totally refusing to prosecute these officers. They said to me, "There's no evidence of wrongdoing." I've got it written down in black and white that they have said there's no evidence of wrongdoing. And much to my dismay, in the last couple of years, I have just found out that the word wrongdoing, when it comes to a police officer, means a criminal activity. So what they're saying instantly, there's no evidence of wrongdoing, it was all an accident. But at that time I didn't know this. So I'm living with a bit of hope there. Look what's happened to my brother. Look, you can see what's happened. There's no evidence of wrongdoing. And what I have just found out, which we all know anyhow, is the police are responsible for making decisions of whether police get prosecuted. I've read, you know what I mean, I've just read this just a couple of weeks ago. The Police Act in 1996 tells us that the police are the ones, the investigating force are the ones that make the decision to whether these police officers are going to get prosecuted or not the Crown prosecution. When it comes to us as ordinary people, they make the decision to whether we're getting prosecuted. So the first thing that happens, you get an investigating officer that goes in, yeah? He looks at the situation, no evidence of wrongdoing. The Crown prosecution follow on with this. So what I did, I thought I'm going to put the pathologist report on the TV. Because I thought, I was reading it and I'm thinking, why is his trousers down? Why has he got additional injuries? Wait a minute, he lost a tooth at the nightclub. How come he's got an additional tooth missing when he's on the custody suite floor? Why has he got another injury at the top of his head? Why has he got a more severe injury at his bottom lip? All these questions kept coming to mind. Wait a minute, what's going on? So I'm approaching the Crown prosecution and I'm going on and on and on. He's saying to me, Miss Alder, go and get the other pathologist reports. So I get the pathologist reports. I was very, very lucky because I had a solicitor and she listened to me. No matter how bizarre the things were coming out of my mouth, she listened. She took everything down and she followed it up. Yeah? So I'm looking at these pathologist reports and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this guy's saying that he's gone on about all the additional injuries Chritstopher's got, and he's saying with basic medical attention this man would have survived. Yeah? And then I'm looking again, and then the Home Office pathologist says, oh well, it might be a cardiac arrhythmia. The only thing that doesn't show. Yeah? The only thing that puts that element of doubting, a cardiac arrhythmia. Now normally a cardiac arrhythmia, it's somebody who is, like a strong alcoholic, or you've got to have signs of heart disease. Chritstopher had none. He was an ex-paratrooper and he still kept fit. He was used to the training and whatsoever, so he looked after himself. He weren't just going to fall, fall down, dead, just because he was in a police van, like what they were trying to tell me. Oh, it might be because he was in a dark van, yeah? I'm thinking, wait a minute, do you really think I'm nuts? So then I looked at these pathologist reports. Even one of them had gone that far into his trousers being down, this, that and the other. And I thought, wait a minute, this is no cardiac arrhythmia. So they said, right, well, the Home Office pathologist said, we'd like to get somebody to have a look at Chritstopher's heart. Now everybody will have heard of Dr. Carey as one of the best cardiac pathologists going. And he's got the guts to stand up and speak the truth. I think he spoke about the Tomlinsons, the pathologist that we're dealing with, the Tomlinsons. He's quite outspoken, he's a very trustworthy person. So he got Chritstopher's heart, he had a look at it and that, and says, no, he said, there's nothing the matter with this man's heart at all. Yeah? So the Home Office pathologist then changed his opinion. But the CPS did not show us the change of opinion. I've only just got that a couple of years ago. And he says, well, I agree with Dr. Carey. So that's two people, yeah? Within the first few months, that's two people. I think it was from April to December 98. That was two people that said Chritstopher would have survived. Then once again, they get another pathologist in. I think it was the PCA that got him in. He turned around and said, basic medical attention, this man would have survived, so that's 3. So instantly the evidence is there. Yeah? The evidence is there that these prosecutors should be prosecuted with manslaughter. But the CPS spent 4 years, they spent 4